Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where this time we're going to be doing a character review and discussion for Boba Fett. This is one of the original trilogy greats, even though he played a small role in the original trilogy. It was a role that was not without great impact. I think most people, when they saw Boba Fett first make his appearance in The Empire Strikes Back, he's standing alongside Vader. He's that one that can stand up to Vader and stand alongside him, and you see that Vader tolerates his presence. That was always so cool to me. And in all the years that followed, Boba Fett has been expanded upon greatly in many source materials. You have his backstory in the prequels with him being an adopted clone, essentially, of his father, Jango Fett. You have his backstory given in the expanded universe books and novels, comics. You have his backstory further expanded upon in the Clone Wars, as you see him kind of struggling being a young man, following in with the bounty hunter crowd and trying to live up to his father's legacy and exact revenge. And then you see him in later comics, the War of the Bounty Hunters saga with uh, takes place between episodes 5 and 6. That comic series expanded upon him as well. And then, obviously, most recently, you have the Book of Boba Fett, which was his title show, as well as his appearances in The Mandalorian Season 2. And I'm going to be honest, I think all of the characterizations of Boba Fett are solid. He's always a badass. He's always, you know, the most competent and on top of his game. He will not be beaten out by any other bounty hunters on a job. His rivalry with the other hunters, as well as some of the heroes, Han Solo and Luke Skywalker, Boba Fett is someone that can hold his own. I think as a Mandalorian bounty hunter especially, I think there's something cool about that breed of warrior in Star Wars. You have the Jedi, you have the Sith, you have those with force powers that are, naturally gifted with the ability to do insane things. And with Boba Fett, you have an everyman. You have someone that's just working hard and honing his skills to become the very best that he can be. And I think his backstory of being a clone works. You can see with the clone army of the Republic how they're all individualized and kind of take on their own personalities. I think Boba Fett's no exception to that. He's not a soldier. He never follows in those types of footsteps, but he carves his own way and becomes a simple man making his way through the universe, like his father before him. And Boba Fett's just cool. His design has always been cool. Now, I will talk about the Book of Boba Fett, and I think there was a little bit of mischaracterization. I think there's a contrast between his appearance in The Mandalorian Season 2, where he makes this totally badass entrance, and he's the Boba Fett that you know and love. Tamara Morrison knocks it out of the park. But then I think in the Book of Boba Fett, there was a little bit of a missed opportunity to add to that. He becomes more about honor and the loyalty to the city and the people. And there's nothing wrong with that character progression, but I think there were details and things that could have made a slower, more earned progression towards that than just kind of putting him in that position and that's just what it is. He also felt a little bit sidelined in his own show, which is disappointing. But I do love that he got to have that moment of closure with Cad Bane, where he does get to prove that he is different than his father, and he is carving out his own legacy. And at a point in time, you have to move on from being compared to your father and his life work, and you have to carve out your own path. And Boba Fett has successfully done that. I'm going to give Boba Fett an 8.9 out of 10. I think the Book of Boba Fett version of him might be the only thing holding him back from a 9, but with all of his appearances and all the expanded works and the games, the totality of his work, I do believe he is one of the top tier characters in Star Wars. I think he's earned that, and I think you have another one of those characters, and I've mentioned this in previous videos with other characters too. You have one of those characters that from the moment they come on screen, their design just speaks to you, and you just immediately become intrigued and want to know more about them. And Boba Fett has always been that. So, yep, it's going to be an 8.9 out of 10. That's all I got for you in this video. I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button, it helps out the channel a ton. And as always, may the force be with you. Now let's blow up that like button and go home.